Thank you very much. First of all, I want to thank the organization for this invitation and to the opportunity given to us, to the agency, to report our experience. So in this presentation, I will report the new experience held in. This experience is all at 2 years for the new support to the innovation in France, and we focus especially on nanomedicines. So first of all, what I want to stress for academics and for SME, SME and academics mainly think about and develop, mainly concentrate their effort on the pharmacology and the proof of concept on the product. But before to go and for the agency, the main objective, and the mission for the agency is to protect human, is to the safety of the population of the patient. So during the development, and if you want to go to human, you need to consider 3 basements. First of all, of course, it's a pharmacology, the proof of concept, but I think that's for that academic, SME, and so you have all the data and studies for that. But mainly you need also to consider, if you want to go to human, you need to consider 2 other basements. One is the pharmacokinetics and toxicokinetics in order to follow the behavior of your product in vivo, animals, and also in human, and to make an extrapolation to your animals models to human. And also, you need to have some data, and you need to characterize the safety profile of your product by the toxicology program. So the main issue of the toxicology program is, first of all, determine the general toxicology. General toxicology is to identify the target organ toxicity, delay effect, reversibility effect, probability, of course, of occurrence. So you need to characterize those relationships. But also, if you have some adverse effect, also toxic effect, you need also to characterize the nature of this adverse effect by in vitro or by molecular or new tools, use new tools in order to characterize the mode of action of all the mechanisms of action that they occur to this toxic effect. Also, you need to characterize some special hazard like reproductive, developmental, carcinogenic, and for specific product, and especially for medicine product, try to characterize, if possible, immunotoxicological effect and so on. Why to do that? You need to do that in order, first of all, to determine the appropriate dose selection in order to initiate your clinical trial for the initial starting dose, and also in order to determine your dose escalation scheme to move ahead during the clinical development. But also this kind of study is very important in order to identify risk population like pediatric population, childbearing women, but also to assess the risk for normal volunteer or volunteer. This is the main issue for that. So it's very complicated maybe for academics and for small SME, and this is why in AFSAPS we have developed an innovation policy. This innovation policy is not based on a legal background obligation, like, for example, SMA Office to EDMA, but this is a will to have contact with innovation as public health missions, is to fit to our public health missions of the French agency. It was implemented in November 2008 after 2 years of discussion in internal and external stakeholders in order to establish the limit of the procedure and so on, because this is advice, this is a mission, but this is absolutely not a mission to say that we authorize your product, we endorse your product. The scope, of course, is to help dedicated new health product in development, that fulfill and meet medical needs. Is concerned all health products, medical device, medicines, combinations, or borderline product, with a specific regards product developed by small structure like academics or SME, is not really to promote innovation, but is to secure each step of the development and also to secure the security of patient with the respect of regulatory landscape and also to avoid the dead end of the product. And also it's to promote and to accelerate the process for patient to access to new medicines. So, of course, this in France, this mission is free. This action is free and is based on the decision of AFSAPS. You are here the contact point at the agency if someone wants to develop a clinical trial in France. So the main actions, the main action was dedicated to website, of course, and in this website we have some groups that they make recommendations, and we will speak in the recommendation of toxicological evaluation of nanoparticles, medicinal product, or nanomedicinal product. There is a new newsletter dedicated to innovation. There are some workshop and training sessions dedicated for SME or academic structure, of course. And we have, and I think that is also the main action, we have face-to-face meeting with academics or SME. That is open application request. It's an application request, of course, but it's also a decision of AFSAPS to make this face-to-face meeting or not. We work with external experts and internal experts, and we give some advice on the regulatory classification for borderline product, like medical device or medicine. Is a medical device, is a medicine, so we give this kind of advice. But of course, and I think that the most important for me, this is my point, is to give also advice on the development and the future strategy, the non-clinical strategy, and the clinical strategy also, and quality strategy in order to develop the product. And so, it depends on the maturation of the project. We can give some orientation to formal scientific advice or other services for pre-submission clinical trial, or we can give an orientation if there is a need for the academics or for the SMA to contact EMA or other agency. So I will quickly speak about the recommendation on the non-clinical safety evaluation of nanomedicine product. So this is a document that they constitute in France official recommendation of the French agency. This document has been released by a group of experts shared by Professor Jean-Roger Claude. And this document is not a formal guideline, but is designed just to give help to applicants for the preparation of pre-submission for the clinical trial dossier or for scientific advice. There is 3 main points that you need to take into account when you develop a nano product. That this is the group decided. Of course, it's the characterizations of your particle that is very important. The characterization of your nano product in terms of size and surface. The coating of and the formulation of the coating is very important. Structure. And also all what's about the biodegradability, solubility, because all of these parameters will be determine the behavior of your product in the body. The second way is the potential to form aggregate agglomerate. That is very important because they will also determine the pharmacokinetics on your product. one of the very important effects in order to detect is the immunogenic reaction with your product, and especially the CARPA syndrome, that this is mediated by the complement activations. It could be a rare case of side effect, but that exists. And if you have, during your development, you have not assessed this kind of effect, and you have one side effect, or one of your volunteer or patient experience that they could completely stop the development on the clinical phases on your product. That is very important. And also, one of the major difficulties is to differentiate the potential hazard of the component that decomposed your nanomedicinal product to the nanomedicinal product itself. So you need to have some data on that. So this is a position paper, as we say, recommendation position paper. It's not guideline, I say that, and it's very open to discussion, and this paper is periodically updating, and the next update will be done in the end of this December with a new paragraph on immunotoxicity, especially on immunotoxicity and genotoxicity. The scope of this product is mainly product used in medical imaging, vectorization of drug substance, and the use of topical routes like skin, lungs, and so on. But in the next future, we will assess and we will give some recommendation for nanoparticle or nano medicinal product in medical device. 3 minutes, so I will be very precise. So considering the non-clinical safety, the group has considered that to release a guideline, a very strict guideline, is too earlier because they could impede the innovations. Because we have currently we have no enough data to release a very strict guideline that it could be considered as well. So, and of course, sometimes a guideline could be considered, and some regulatory activity could consider the nanomedicinal product as a diabolic, like a GMO and so. So we prefer, the group has preferred to give some recommendation and not a specific guideline. But this is the first document that they give precise recommendations. So there are major controversy existing for all this kind of document. You have two ways of thinking of people. The first one is, do we need completely new tests and regulation for nanos, including nanomedicinal product? That is because they say that the conventional approach is not appropriate, is not so. But if we do that, how many years to achieve this work, and what we do during this work? And the second way is, can we use conventional mode of evaluation with certain specific adaptation? This is the opinion of many of them. This is the choice of the working group, and this is recently also the choice of the US FDA, that they adopt this second approach to use